Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja Nima Akashat Zibiri in the building.
I wish you would just lift my spirit. Since on Saturday, my heart has been doing calm.
Oh, what happened?
Because Imran's cat had 4 kittens. Saturday morning.
Oh my Lord.
In fact, I never say he must come on. Because the excitement, I have 4 kittens now.
But the feeding of the 4 kittens,
he didn't knew. One Titus fish.
Any animal I cannot eat.
One Titus, exactly. People were on the same boat. It's just that something happened in my house. Because me, it's chicken that is my pet. Chicken.
That was the grow.
Rabbits, those are my pets. But you see where I am now is cats. I don't see the wool of the cat. You know, they eat 1 Titus at least 1.5 a day.
Yes.
Thankfully, you lose fish.
So they can be giving you the evidence.
I will tell you, I don't have money today. If they don't eat 1 okpa a day, with Indomie and all of those things we used to mix for them, at least they will not be crying. Once they hear his voice,
expensive pets.
Imagine that.
Mommy, can you do something? And because they are living things, I just wish I had the heart to abandon them.
Yeah,
I would try it.
You can't.
I tried it for one day. I didn't have peace of mind.
Especially as Muslims, I think you have an instruction that when something is a living thing, you have to.
You can't harm it.
Good to have you. Hi, Tokwe, how are you?
You want cat? No,
hey.
No.
Free.
You don't know. Give you
no, as she's announcing to the world, I'm sure that
they don't give your own cat experience. They say it's new why they sent to him this time around.
No.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. Grateful to God for life. So I went to Ibadan on Saturday. Of all days, I had like 3 events on Saturday, and one of them was in Ibadan. I said, let me just quickly get to Ibadan. I got to Ibadan, no traffic. Inside the Ibadan of Ibadan, that was where we now spent 1 hour. To get into Ibadan was less than 1 hour, less than 2 hours. Inside Ibadan, from just the
road or something.
Challenge to the ICC, the venue, it was wonderful. Then rained, cat and dogs. When I now go back home, I say, I thank God. Imagine if you are doing events with this kind of rain, your heart to be like the people that want to come, they have to do. They'll just look at the rain and say, I'm not going again. I give God all the glory. But I'm going to be speaking at Thriving Business Women Fellowship tomorrow. At Otubajo Bifelewe. It's a free event, and I'm speaking on knowledge to build wealth, and it's a church kind of event. So as I was preparing for my kidney, I'm like, you know, in church they will say revelation, but sometimes because we're so focused on getting revelation from God, we don't acquire the knowledge that you will need in actual fact. So I'll be speaking more on that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. But weekend was packed. Let me see my twinning. Let me give my twinning time, because you know
I'm doing amazing. So this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and this is me joining my voice to talk about mental health. And I want people to be reminded that your mental well-being is very, very important. We understand that life gets heavy sometimes, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay not to be okay, you know what they tell us. But it's also not okay to remain not being okay. You have to find a way to do the little things of life to, you know, help you ease out of it. And that was what led me to write my book, From Freak Out to Chill Out. It's a book on mental health, handling mental health like a pro, that will give you day-to-day tips on how you can, you know, help yourself out of the situations. Things will definitely happen. Prioritize yourself, get support system, get people to talk to, have a good community, and just ease yourself out of it. So happy Mental Health Awareness Month, and everybody should pay attention to their mental health, especially as we have entered 40, and you know, the color is on a different level. There are some things I do now. My husband was like, please, what's going on? Is Perry coming? I said, no, Perry is far from me.
How
you
doing?
We are just in denial.
I'm not yet. I never reached.
Continue. Check something. Check. You will tick at least 2.
Yes. I'm noticing some things.
No, please, Mariah is 16, even though she's the oldest.
I'm 14. I have my own. You know, I mean, no doubt, I have my own issues. I mean, you probably have some. I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster for someone like me. And just like you said, in that chaos, find something to give you the. Oh, thank God, this weekend was great. My son was ill, quite ill, Michael, but I was also with him, caring for him in the midst of all the things I had to do this weekend. But I'm happy he went to school today. So, I did a Nima move. I'm just about to I did a Nima move. See, I can't have people in my life and not
influence.
I'm learning and then I'm getting
sometimes
influenced.
even me when I want to respond something, I'll be like, let me pull Murad.
I pulled Nima on Saturday. I'm so happy I did, you know. So let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to go straight into the front pages of the papers. The Nation, let's convert our diversity to prosperity, says Tinubu.
Awesome.
Picture here of our president congratulating His Holiness Pope Leo XIV after the inauguration yesterday. Omokri, Utomi's shadow government plan alien. Alake, China's electric vehicle plant coming. MPC to retain interest rate in bid to bring down inflation. Yakasai, nobody has capacity to unseat Tinubu. And can Nigeria first policy fire up sluggish manufacturing sector? Okay, let's start with the story.
Yeah, the major headline. So they said Nigeria's diversity should be harnessed to create prosperity for the people. This was according to our president while he was in Rome, Italy yesterday. He spoke during a meeting with the Catholic Bishops' Conference on the sidelines of the inauguration mass for Pope Leo XIV at St. Peter's Square in Vatican. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was among the 30 heads of states, state governments who witnessed the official coming into the office of Pope Leo XIV, who was voted as the 267th pontiff by the cardinals on May 8th. So according to the spokesman, Bayo Nanuga, the president said, if we use our diversity not for adversity but for prosperity, the country's hope is stability and progress. Now, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria President Archbishop Lucius Ugoji also expressed appreciation to the president for facilitating their visit to Rome for the burial of the late Pope Francis and the installation of his successor. Ugoji, who is the Archbishop of Owerri, said, and I quote, "You are always there for us. Now that you have come to the Vatican, whenever we have our conference in Nigeria, we'll also invite you, and we look forward to interfacing with you just as you were able to do with the Holy Father." There were other clerics at the meeting, including the Archbishop Ignatius Kaigema of Abuja, Archbishop Alfred Martins of Lagos, and Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka of the Sokoto Diocese. They had another meeting with the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, and the president reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to promoting interfaith dialogue, tolerance, and cooperation in a world increasingly challenged by religious and ideological polarization. They went ahead to discuss other issues, talking about peace, mutual respect, global solidarity, and everything that will make Nigeria and other countries in the world move forward. So congratulations to the Pope, the new Pope that has been installed, and the fact that our president is not a Christian, but he was able to attend the Vatican. Let's see how these collaborations work. We are still.
Well, I invited all that presidents. So why is Tinubu going now? Is to talk of conversation. Everybody,
our president went, please. We have to celebrate our president for going there.
He said because he's not Christian.
He could have sent any other person to go.
Because he's Muslim, he must honor an invitation. In Islam, you must honor an invitation.
And it's good. It's a good conversation.
He did something for the country. He's good. The Monetary Policy Committee will sit today. Headed by the CBN governor, they will sit today to decide whether our interest rates would go up, control, or remain the same or drop to control inflation. So the MBC, that's the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, last week released their latest consumer price index, and it showed a very good decline in inflation. according to, the readings, inflation rate dropped by 52 basis points from 24.23% in March to 23.71% in April. And according to them, it declined by 1.86% in April, and showed, a lot of price decline and stability of prices in certain areas. So experts are advising on, I don't want to read out all the experts that the nation had interviewed, but they are saying this will do well for the Monetary Policy Committee to retain things based on this information, especially because there are other areas that the Naira is struggling, and, they would rather just keep things as they are or further drop things to make country better.
Let me take Reno Omokri, who was saying concerning Patutomi's plan for a shadow government. So he said the shadow government is alien to presidential system of government that we're practicing. That's according to Reno Omokri, the former presidential spokesman. He stated this in a statement. He was saying that it would be offensive to start an idea which is totally unconstitutional. Forming a shadow government under a presidential system of government is treason, he said, adding that you cannot try it in the United States, for example. He says a shadow government is allowed in a parliamentary system because Westminster forms of government do not have separation of powers, unlike presidential systems which we have of government, where we have the executive and the legislature are fused. To provide checks and balances to shadow government, a shadow government is provided for in the constitution of parliamentary democracies. He explained that forming and participating in a shadow government requires a person to be elected member of parliament, noting that this condition applies only to the party that finished second in the general election. So he was just trying to appeal again to Patutomi that the issue of shadow government should be shelved and not carried out as planned.
So I want to take the story of the Nigerian. That's someone that is over 90, right? Yes. His elder statesman, Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, yesterday reflected on the early preparations for the presidential election in 2027, and he was of the opinion, which he verbalized, that nobody has the capacity to unseat our president. And when asked to analyze the president's, the administration's effectiveness so far, he said he would do that later. But what he is focusing on now is that the crop of other politicians that are vying for presidential position, that none of them have what it takes to unseat the president. He was a special advisor to, he's currently 99 years old, so like really he's a very, very elder statesman. He advised the Nigerians and politicians not to focus on ethnicity and anything that is divisive. He said that he wants politicians to focus on people-centered, masses-centered actions and plans, that our politicians should see politics as a dynamic game, that he will advise them to play the game on the basis of ideology and program. Let's envision a way that would help the country, not targeting just to be ministers, governors, and presidents. So that for me was a very good one, because many people now, the political move is not even about governance, it's about how to position themselves to remain politically relevant rather than focus on the people. The 99-year-old is speaking, listen.
Okay, The Punch. Atiku Kam offers Obi vice presidential role in one-term deal. FG's electricity debt balloons by 800 billion naira, says Senate. Japa doctor drain devastates 12 states. Kwara governor urges calm after boat tragedy, claims 37 lives. Lagos probes Katsina workers' recruitment by Dangote refinery. Tinubu approves licenses for North Oil project. And CBN slashes federal government loans by 4 trillion naira. Tinubu Obi Fayemi share light moment at Pope's inauguration. Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the stories from The Punch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name is Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of your view pigeon.
I'm going to bring you bass, boost. I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show, say, now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
you no go see am again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't do signs.
If they look for person, we will give them to you. Fact as it be.
Men no dey ever
man get force. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
But look, we not even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some period.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the camp.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the punch.
Yeah, I have a human interest story here. So the Kwara State government on Sunday urged boat operators to adhere to safety regulations following the tragic boat accident that claimed the lives of 37 traders last Thursday in Gbajibo River. And he said the incident had occurred within the territory of Niger State. So this is also as the state governor, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, sent a heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims of Gbajibo boats. They were begging boat operators and passengers to adhere to safety regulations for the good of all. And while he was describing the incident as painful and unacceptable, he says it's now becoming a culture that people are no longer using the safety gadgets that have been provided by the government while they're entering this boat. So he was speaking in a telephone conversation with Punch. That was the chief press secretary to the governor, Malam Rafiu Ajakaye, and he acknowledged the incident, but he stressed that it did not occur in Kwara. I think some of the papers had it that it was in Kwara it happened. He said the accident happened on Thursday evening while the traders who had come to trade in Gbajibo Mudi were returning home. It happened in Niger State, and all the victims' bodies were recovered from the river and they were buried in Niger State. That was the reason they did not say anything about it. And he said, according to reliable sources, the traders had attended the weekly market in the area and were en route to their communities when the incident happened. one of the reasons of the incident was overloading. They said the boat had capacity for 100, but they overloaded, and also the river bank had overflowed. You know, this is the rainy season, and so rivers overflow at that point, and that's what happened. And the incident happened at 6 p.m. So the appeal, we have, you know, buried the people that have died. The appeal is that we must pay attention to the rules and regulations surrounding the waterways. If they give you a life jacket, please wear the life jacket. Get used to wearing the life jacket if you have to go there. If the banks are overflowed, don't even overload people. Let it if it's 100 capacity, load just 100 or even less than 100. Give room for anything that, you know, happens.
Okay, let me take the major headline and Punch. So there are indications that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar may have offered Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi a vice presidential role in the joint single-term ticket for next elections. Reliable multiple sources have said that the coalition efforts have requested anonymity due to lack of authorization to speak. Has said that they've actually agreed, according to him. He said the ex-Anambra state governor has said to be working to secure the backing of his core loyalists. So according to this report, they said that the party chieftain said that, you know, that this time next year, by May 2026, almost all parties would have unveiled their presidential candidates. The leaders have all agreed that it's only a coalition between Atiku and Obi and others that can wrest power from Tinubu. So they are crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Atiku and Obi met earlier this year in the UK. That was where the decision was, the idea was presented and agreed upon. Atiku has urged Obi to be his running mate. But recent developments show that Obi has accepted to Atiku's proposal, and Atiku also has agreed to serve a single 4-year term and hand over power to Peter Obi after his first 4-year term. So Peter Obi, according to this report, is trying to discuss with his own loyalists to agree, and Atiku also firming things on his own side, and then hopefully we'll see how that takes us. But that's the current coalition that looks like it's coming together.
I don't think it's a possible one. I can't believe it. Well, Jackma, according to this report, we have 12 states in the country currently have less than 200 qualified doctors, trained doctors in Nigeria right now. They said since 2021, Nigeria has continued to witness huge trend of migration of doctors and other categories of health workers to other countries leaving the country. This is based on data obtained from the State of Health of the Nation report found on the website of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare by the correspondents of Punch in Abuja. And they said they have at least, in 2022, we had about 3,000 doctors requesting for letters of good standing to migrate, of course, from the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, according to a report. And since then, since 2022, they've witnessed about most of our doctors leaving. 68% of the doctors were looking to the UK. About 10% are looking to Canada, 7% looking to the USA. UAE has about 5% looking towards that area. Australia also has about 3% looking that way. Ireland has 3%. Saudi 1%, Maldives 1%. And this, of course, does not represent the total migration records. Also, the National Association of Resident Doctors noted about 11,899 resident doctors only are left practicing in the country, with most of them having jackpot without, going through the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. So we have some states struggling. Some states have higher number of doctors, and most likely Lagos will be on that list. But most states have lower number of doctors. The states with the lesser number of doctors are Abia, Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Cross River, Ekiti, Gombe, Jigawa, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Niger. So this leaves a lot of, gives us long waiting hours in the hospital and a lot of people waiting for surgeries.
A lot of people come down to Lagos and it's all
less qualified doctors.
Less doctors in the
There's a strain on them.
Okay, moving on very quickly now to Vanguard.
Oh, I want to take the story quickly of the fear that people had. Yes, it was in the Punch. Lagos probing the fact that Katsina workers were recruited by Dangote Refinery. So a video went online and the video caused people to be scared about the fact that they saw a conversion of people that came from Katsina to Ibejuleki to work, and there were security concerns among the locals, and it went online. And the state government, Lagos state government, has already issued a release that they are aware of those people. There's no security concern. They were brought in to work at the Dangote Refinery as laborers. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress has come up to say that it was very wrong for Dangote Refinery to recruit laborers from Katsina. The idea is that they should provide employment. They are criticizing the labor violation, saying that they should have these unskilled laborers from the north and not from, it should have come from the hosting community of the Dangote Refinery, that there would be a proper protest on this. But while speaking on that, the Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Motoshaw, said the investigation is ongoing into the matter and that there's no reason to worry. I'm expecting that the Lagos State should address the concern of, we were expecting more employment for Lagosians.
And the Nigerians, and they're allowed to work anywhere.
Yeah, but the primary people that should get the job are the host community.
There's a bigger danger. So where I live was a community that hosted the Dancer Fruit Juice Company. And when workers were imported from outside the state, they didn't have houses. So they built small shanties. Till date, it's a shanty community. Because they don't build to live. Whereas if you are employed within the host communities, they'll most likely come from their homes. So they create a bigger problem.
The pros and cons on that.
They have slums everywhere.
Vanguard, very quick, let's take a few stories. Manufacturing sector rebounds as revenue profits soar. Herdsmen bandits attack in Benue, Kebbi, Imo, Ondo, and Kogi kill 33. Abdulrazak mourns as 37 passengers drowned in Kwara boat mishap. And we took Nigeria's Unity in Diversity, work in progress, says Tinubu. Let's take one story there. Who has a major headline?
Yeah, I do. The herdsmen, bandits, and kidnappers were on rampage in different parts of the country this weekend. They said they killed no fewer than 33 persons in Benue, Imo, Kebbi, Ondo, and Kogi states. They said several other persons were also injured in attacks, which have further worsened the insecurity in the country. So in Ogumobio and Okpobolo axis of Agatu local government area of Benue State, they said at least 15 persons were killed in an ambush by armed herders who invaded the area. They said the attack also left several persons, most of whom the traders, injured, and many of them were missing. They said the victims of the attack, which occurred late Saturday evening, were returning from Oweto market after the day's business and heading to their various communities when they ran into the ambush. So according to the former vice chairman of Agatu local government, Anthony Ikulono, he confirmed the murder of the 15 persons in the attack on his verified social media account, and he said that was unprovoked. He explained that the attack was masterminded by a herder who returned to the Fadama of Obagaji after he had earlier vacated the area as directed by the chairman of the area to allow people return to their farms. He now came back, after the rains. He said when he returned, they confronted him, and on Saturday they had to lay ambush in the community and kill people who were coming in from Oweto market. So there've been series of complaints that many of these herders are coming in, eating their farm produce, and when they complain, they go and come back to kill them, and that's what has been happening. So across even Imo states, they said government suspected to be herders as well in Imo states invaded Agwa and Amakobia Ubi communities. It's a boundary community, and then opened fire and killed it. I think they lost one person there, and the other states as well. So we have to do something about this insecurity.
I think that's all we can take on the front page review this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
A great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online special.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Abdullahi Bello, the chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, has asked Nigerians to report public servants living above their means. In a Daily Trust interview, Bello stated that the Bureau will soon launch a platform for submitting complaints. He emphasized, if you suspect someone is living above their means, you don't need their declaration. Report immediately the person, and we will investigate. The responsibility to fight corruption is shared. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Would you be willing to take this opportunity to, identify certain people who you feel might be living above their means, especially with their public servants living above their means? Do you think this is a good way to curb corruption? Join the conversation. 020-1635-2013 is the number to call, and 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read from you. Let me come to you. I mean, these are some of the rhetorics we like to hear from our leaders. Oh, we're fighting corruption. Report to us, tell us. When you see somebody, when you see something, make sure you say something. But the CCB is coming to say that, especially Abdullah himself said, I used to work in EFCC, and I've been able to create a unit whose focus is to be able to investigate the technicalities on and see people's assets before and after. Do you think this would work? Do you think, especially because there's no solidified whistleblower policy yet? I mean, it's not yet. The people are not fully protected just yet. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree, or do you think it's a good idea? BC?
Yes. So I think in the fight for corruption, it's a good idea. Every climb that has succeeded in fighting corruption one way or the other has some of these things in place where you are spending what they believe you don't have and they're asking questions, right? But I would first of all like that we start from the beginning. For instance, they mentioned the civil servants. We need to know their means, first of all. There's always this secrecy around what they earn, what contracts they get, what bonuses they get, and all of that. It has to be made public. So at a certain level, this is what you're expected to earn. If you are getting bonuses at the end of the year, this is what you're expected to earn. Because where there's no law, there's no sin. If I know that this is the amount you are expected to earn, and I see you spending above that amount, then I can question. But if I'm not sure, many times we ask them, why are you people spending so and so? I say, hey, well, we have this, we have that. We have this, we have that. We are not sure of what they have. So the first thing is to ensure that there's no secrecy surrounding what they earn as public servants. We have that. Even public servants, including the governors, the presidents, the ESTA codes that they take when they're traveling, you know, because they will tell you that their basic is usually minimal, but then the extras, those extras, we need to have an idea of how much it is. That way we can now gauge whether you're living below or above or beneath your means, right? That's on one hand. Then second hand, we need to make sure that the laws to protect people who make these reports are enshrined and well guarded and well protected, because this is opening another terrain where people may get into trouble for just spotting people they feel are living above their means. The people in power, for instance, the civil servants, for instance, have certain means that they can use to punish you if they feel you are pointing at them or you're talking too much and all of that. So we need to make sure, first of all, that we have that platform he mentioned for anonymity, where you can report anonymously. Make sure that one is it cannot be hacked, is guarded, so that when you are going to report somebody that you are suspecting, then you know that nobody can mention your name, nobody will even see you and all of that. That way we know that we are ready for this. But till those things are sorted, I think we can just be having this conversation on paper. We're really not ready to go there.
Okay. Nima.
Thank you. Now that you're saying we should come and tell you how to do your work. Yep. Because me, I don't used to like lip service. I don't really like eye service. This is fake. Chairman of the CCB asking us to help him profile public servants. Because it's only say public official. Kukuko everybody, just pack everybody already. Don't stress us. Because this is not saying you should go and do register. Let us know what they are earning. Who should know? Is it not them that know?
We also know many people are working in the civil service.
And you
how many people can he monitor?
That's the thing we are saying. We are saying it. How will I know? Do you know how many parties will go? Be wondering the kind of money spent, and it's a public servants event.
True.
It's not a private citizens event. We on the table last week. It was private citizens were calling us. Some people knew what we were talking about. But the public servants event, the CCB chairman himself or officers from his office are attending, and you're asking us. If you're able to untouch light, don't stress me. I'm wasting my time. That's the truth.
Nima, this country is large. There's 36
has
states.
A point.
There are many parties, not just the one you see in your small Lagos. There are plenty states that visit. So how many civil servants can he possibly know?
Yes. CCB chairman. Did you knew them? What's that chairman in? You should know.
We can't know everybody.
Let's be realistic.
More. Realistic. We are not. This is. You know, when I've looked at the audience, I want to read the room and say the right things. That's what he just did.
Away.
Is it us that helped to tell him to follow Saraki and Shiwadu when they were governor those days? Is it us that tell him?
So I feel that I hear you. I do not completely agree. I don't completely agree. I believe that for anything to work, there must be collaboration between the citizenry and the law enforcement in any form, or prosecutors in this case, the CCB. And I do strongly believe the CCB has enough evidence to prosecute some people. Probably we don't know. Maybe they don't have enough. I know that many civil servants complain about what they are earning is not a whole lot, yet many of them have their children studying abroad, and I know it's not cheap to have your child studying abroad.
Yeah.
So I will be looking forward to the publicity around the platform. I think that we have a lot of amazing ideas, but we are not effectively selling the ideas. And so people are cynical, and you can't blame them for their cynicism, because they have seen a whole lot in this country that has made them doubt the ability or the sincerity of our leaders. So it's not enough to have a good idea.
Implementation.
It's important that you sensitize people to how we had a whistleblower policy. Where is it? You know, when we've had policies in the past that worked and were bringing something similar to it, we should come back and say, oh, this policy was implemented in this side, these were the good, the bad. After the report, we decided to upgrade it like this. But when we just come up like this is a fresh idea, it's not fresh. It's a good idea, but it's not a fresh idea. It's an idea that can work because there are some interns that have information. I don't need to leave you my name to give you the information. I can just drop the information to you. So in terms of protecting or keeping anonymous, it can be kept anonymous. I will give you the information. But the sensitization to enough people to know that you are important to us. We cannot fully investigate without you because there are information that we will not have access to. Now, every top-ranking civil servant and politician, even if you are just getting an appointment, you would fill the CCB form and you will be asked to give every major declaration of everything you own. So we know that there will be official declaration, but we also know that some of the properties are not in the names of many corrupt people. They won't put it in their name. They put it in the names of
family members,
people that are even farther from them, staff and all of that. So the only way they can get the real cocoa information will be if somebody leaks it from inside, because you will not know. If I can put property in Mariah's name if I'm a politician now, and you will not link us together in any way, but I have an agreement with Mariah that, okay, this is in your name until 4 years after my political career is over, and that's all. But somebody that knows our relationship and is aware can then leak it to say these things have been acquired under this person's name.
So, Doctor, there's also the part of building public trust, because the truth is that, I mean, I hear Nima, and let me just say what the man said, Mr. Abdullahi Bello said. He said, although the whistleblower protection law has not been enacted, he advised people to report anonymously if they fear for their safety. You don't have to mention your name. People want to benefit from reporting corruption, and that is fine. But if your motive is to help your community, you can report without revealing your identity. If you report anonymously, there'll be no fear. Now, when I say building trust, if I, as a law enforcement, I'm monitoring the big cities, the Lagos, the Port Harcourt, the Abuja, the politicians. I mean, I'm arrested because according to his report, there are some people that they've been calling to come and tell us exactly how you're earning. But there are people that live in other states, Katsina, Benue, there are also civil servants who are also spending, who are also stealing money. So, and now, when Nigerians are saying, maybe this director, he just did a send forth for his daughter, see how he spent money, maybe in Ekiti State. And I'm wondering, you don't trust the government. You feel that they're not working. So what I hear him saying is that though we are doing our own now, little capacity, all of you in a little pocket, you have to whistleblow. You have to tell us what's happening, because that's the only way I can know. I can put my satellite on Edo State or Benue, because I know that then the citizens trust the Nigeria, that the government want to work and fish out these people who are stealing public funds.
So let me add something before Nima comes in, because I know she has a response. When you go to the Obodo Ibos, for instance, and you are shopping, and you bring out a bundle of $1 and you are shopping, everybody there is watching you. Some people are already making calls, because it is not normal for you to come and shop with cash like that. Now, what are they doing? It's just citizens' responsibility. They are calling to find out who are these people, or even if this person just moved into a neighborhood and they see how you're spending lavishly, they call. They want to find out who you are, what you're doing, that would earn you that amount of money. So it's just us holding each other to say, let's be sure that we don't have criminals around us. Let's be sure that we don't have people who are stealing the resources that are meant for the general good. However, we are in a climb where even the person who is saying call them out may also be guilty. And we are also in a climb where everybody is waiting for their turn. So I may see that you are chopping and I don't want to call you out, because you may drop some crumbs for me tomorrow. You may help me with something. I've benefited from you. So why do I want to call you out when I feel like the people who are there, who are chopping more, it's just small now. How much you get? How much you even feel steal? People are stealing with their pens every day. So it's that dynamic of, do I do this to just suffer my person who has finally managed to see something after waiting for a very long time? Or do I channel the energy to calling out those people sitting there that are really eating the big money? I think that's where the dilemma is for Nigerians.
And the CCB chairman has quite a bit on his step. We're going to go on break. When we come back, I'd like us to focus on how even one man's vision can it really translate to the entire agency? Because the truth is that it's one thing to say things, but the people that are going to sabotage your efforts, they are inside your system.
True.
Let's go on a short break. We continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light, camera, fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue with the Code of Conduct Bureau, and we'd like to open our phone lines to call us to let us know if they would be taking this opportunity to call out especially public servants who they believe are having money beyond their means. You can call us on 020-1635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X. We'll be happy to read your thoughts. Nima.
Okay. So the Code of Conduct Bureau is established to receive declaration of assets from civil servants, keep those records, and then we are supposed to help them compare it.
It's nothing good.
No, I wanted one now. Because if you're in level 1 and so, or level 8 or level whatever, who should know what you're earning? Is it the NLC or who public? It is the business of the Code of Conduct Bureau. They even know what these senators who always give us conflicting figures actually earn. Because those figures that they say, I cannot, you know, once I approach a senator, what's your real salary? You say, it's not public, it's not for public consumption. That's what most of the senators have been doing. But they know. They ought to do their duty. The only job they were given is for that asset declaration, asset monitoring, investigation. Now, give us
the job.
You now say I should be whistleblowing. If it's from Babele that I would do it. Yes, it's only most likely from malicious prosecution. Yes. I will do it. True. I'll just be looking at it's not adding mass.
There will be evidence of that ostentatious.
I don't have. That's the thing.
There will be. I don't know the basis for comparison. I hear her.
But you don't know. I don't know what you're earning.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to look at it. Last week, Orago.
And that's what they want
this
us
week,
to do.
Orago.
No, we can't give that.
No.
They want us to do that.
So that means the CCB is not a serious agency. They want to now leave work and be helping us to do malicious prosecution. Because if I don't look at Mura will go. Oh, they're not Dubai. Oh, check this. These two cars came. Hello, CCB. Check Morayo.
Simple.
So, yes, and that's what will begin to happen.
Wait now. When CCB is checking Morayo, change. BC what do new week again? Check BC.
That's what we. Let me.
She has a point. We discussed this thing we discussed something similar a few weeks ago. And when we were discussing it, I was of the opinion that we do not want, when we're discussing that guy that opened the Vodi, the Vodi, Sheyi Vodi, I said, I don't want us to become this suspicious set of people that were now looking at everybody from a place of success is not common, so we're looking for the successful person that we can sort of like call out. And that's the reason I would say that the CCB's statement, while coming from a good place, can be found to have a lot of loopholes in between it. While we're on a break, we mentioned something. You asked
can
about... Can
I pause you for a second? Hold it for a minute. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're holding. You're live. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Sorry. You asked about, you were saying about NDLEA is getting it right, you know. And I said NDLEA is seen to be getting it right. The key word is seen, because they have a very strong communicating, the units they are, the unit that handles Femi Babafemi's unit is working. Every agency needs, you don't just need somebody that has worked 10 years in media or broadcast journalist. You need someone that the person understands the responsibility on them to let Nigerians see the good work you're doing. So if CCB's work, and I read papers every day, so I'm not an uninformed Nigerian. If the CCB, the Code of Conduct, has been publishing the investigations ongoing. That's what we are investigating 50 people. We have been able to prosecute 10 people. Last week we took 5 to court. Next week we're taking 10 to court. If you tell me to do whistleblower, I will not. All this English Nima is speaking invalidated immediately. Why? Evidence day. Nigerians need to see more evidence, not even just CCB, even FIRS, even though, let us see the work you are doing. When Lagos wanted to change and campaign for tax people to start paying their taxes, I remember the former governor of other BRF then was publicity of this is what we use your tax to do. This road was by your tax. So people could see that what we are doing, we need to see, because we currently don't trust the government. Justifiably so over the past years. We've seen people that we feel this person no pure and the person is walking away free. So if you let us know that we investigated, even the EFCC, currently, you know, they called a lot of people for investigation. They called E-Money, called Obi Kubana, when you called all of those people, after, can you please tell us that we've investigated them
and they are clean?
We found out that there wasn't, or we don't have enough evidence, or they explained, they've justifiably explained the reason, and they will not say, okay, we move on. But if you don't give us that level of closure, we would just assume that they have connection.
Perception is reality only if reality is untold.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to add to what Nima is saying. She has a very major point, right? Even though she's playing, even though she's playing around it, but she's making some very valid points. And I would like to highlight a bit of it. I started from the beginning. Let
me take Pastor Dari. He's been holding for a while. Good morning, Pastor Dari. You're live.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, the CCB chairman telling Nigerians to report public officials living above their means. Within themselves, don't they have a mechanism where they can actually, monitor these government officials? Even now, if you decide to report, how safe are you? Because we're in a climate that if you're trying to prevent something from happening, before you know, your identity will be disclosed. So don't they have measure within themselves to gauge how public officials are living above their means? And you can see it clearly. The poor are getting poorer and the rich are becoming richer. And now let's look at this thing holistically. Somebody worked for 35 years and 3 months leave of notice, yet he or she may not be able to get his gratuity before he even dies. Then the moment they get opportunity in the office, they gather what they need to gather because they know that the system is not strong. Until we have strong institutions rather than strong individuals, then we start still going around this same vicious circle. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I was saying that Nima has some valid points that I would like to highlight. So I started in the beginning by saying that we need to have something to compare to. We need to have a knowledge of what the civil servants are earning. It's not difficult to put it up on a website, have a website where you can go. It's also encouraging to people who want to get into public service. You go there, see which level, this is what they are earning, these are the allowances that come, these are their bonuses, if they are traveling, these are their ESTA codes, these are some of the perks that they get. You see that. Now, when you see someone who is spending above the level that the person is, so we also need to be informed as individuals to understand that, hey, this one that Mariah is spending money, which level is Mariah? Before we go and whistle blow Mariah, and she's not even at that level that we are calling her for. So if we have all of this, it will be natural for people to feel, this money that she's spending, I bet she's doing, and we also need to do another form of investigation, and that's why I see that they are trying to put all the work on us. While I understand that it's important for Nigerians to be held responsible. Hold on now. What if this civil servant is also doing other side hustle that is giving them extra money?
And all of them have side hustle.
The burden of proof is on me to so that doesn't work.
But we need to have a clear understanding of what civil servants
earn. Let me ask you guys a question.
Let's start from there.
When we are trying to rebuild the nation, we've all been here, where 4 or 5 years ago we're complaining. Let there be an opportunity for us to report. Because where we are right now, we are speaking English. But 10 years ago, especially around that time when the show started, people didn't have that voice. You didn't even have the audacity to ask questions. But we've evolved into a nation where I can ask somebody a question. What is going on here? Why is this person spending like this? So we are the country has evolved. And I'm seeing a CCB chairman saying, you know what? Guys, we need you to get involved. We can't do this by ourselves. We are working. They're working, but they need Nigerians to participate.
There's also a trust issue. Yes. When former Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, was announcing that whistleblower policy, he was carrying the placard.
Up and down.
Money, whistleblower protection. People were raising, bloggers were sharing stories that were raised from weddings of the Minister for Justice at the time, Malami's children, and hotels that were being opened in, what's that state of origin again, in the north. I beg, what was CCB
doing at the time?
Hold on, I'm coming somewhere. Because I, 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, before I got married, witnessed a woman who was defrauded along the Badagry Expressway, Ata Malunta. Yeli, that's what we used to call her. She is pepper seller. She took her time to find those fraudsters to their house and took her time to go to a police station and report. Put her Modalari on the streets of my house. The next morning, somebody had told the fraudsters
that she was the one.
They followed her to her house.
And so we're trying to fix that.
Wait now. If the investigation was properly done on their own
20 years ago, yes,
we will not have problem. I'm not coming even to the last administration. Public officers, she be in the man talk. Public officers, we felt, what thing they happen here? The untouchables. They were not touchable.
Which one?
The one I mentioned, the Minister for Justice, whose flying dollars and weddings were flying.
They shared iPhones.
We were looking at videos online. Is it me we wake CCB chairman, please, so help us to untouch like that place? Because where are the institutions?
I hear your point.
So now you're not telling us that besides all of this that has happened, that you failed to wake up.
We should not be waking up our neighbors.
So that okay.
I don't like your face today. I don't like your face. I'm going to report you. Okay. See your shoe. I'm going to report you.
Finally landed your point. Maybe I didn't understand it before. Now I understand it. But let me go on a short break. Yes, I think I have a call. I'm not even going to break. I'm not even sure what the producer said. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
After
that day, the man disappear
again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person, we will give them to you. Fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if you open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. So let me try to respond to Nima. What the chairman is trying to say.
Okay.
He's not looking for people like Murayo, Tope, BC, or regular folks.
He could shock you.
He's looking for, and he was very specific, public servants. And he said because what the unit does is to examine public servants' assets. Because so before you come into public office, we examine your assets. So what they're asking Nigerians are public officers that they're now public officers. If you feel that once they were local government chairman and suddenly they now moved to Banana Island, let us know so that we can now compare the assets they have now to what they declared when they started. That's the first assignment. He said there's a significant increase in net worth that cannot be justified by their income, and that's when they have to explain to us what's changed from the moment you came in and while you're going out or while you're still in office. He said that several public officers have already been invited, including some high-profile individuals. The process is ongoing, and very soon the public will begin to see results. So is that we want to trust the government is working, or we just choose to be cynical and say, you know what, these people are not working, they're just transferring their work to us. And what he's saying is public officers, he's not looking at Murayo and private citizens. Public officers who have already declared to us.
English, I don't interpret and to pitch.
Okay.
Yes,
please help us comprehend.
Yes, and give us.
So as I read it, my
first
language was pidgin. I'm interpreting so I can break it down. I can understand
and break it down. Help us.
So I'm just hearing him say that we have their state of finances as they enter office.
Okay.
But we need you people to help us monitor the growth of their finances. As Tope said, some people keep it in secret name. I can put it in Tope's name. Put it secret.
I have 4 cars, but only legally have 1.
Then I will not follow it if I don't get those links, even if it's 10 years after, as the CCB, because you did not help me to follow it.
Nima, I'm on your side, but I also feel like we need to help one another. Because the CCB,
if we want a nation,
if we really want a nation, we're all involved. Yeah. And as much as we doubt the sincerity of our leaders, we cannot achieve growth with people that we are saying they are lying or we doubt them. So we must, a part of us must choose to believe that. I choose to believe that they are going to make this thing work. So I choose to contribute to them, because if they fail, we all fail. If they succeed, we all succeed. Their inefficiency, we might not like it, but if we support them to become more efficient, it helps us. Now, the CCB, even the police, even the military, they don't have enough resources to deal with the corruption of Nigerians. Wow. Nigerians are super, oh God, you create one level to handle the corruption. The next day, the intelligence, they will take it to another level. So when they say they need us, they really do, because our intelligence is super. Now, the CCB was meant to curb corruption, but they found a way to still, in the midst of these things, acquire assets abroad, acquire assets locally, even while their salary is stipulated. So it would mean that when I was growing up, ward counselor, ward, you know, we're about to. Ward, as the person became counselor.
How many months?
He cannot live in a 3-bedroom flat again. 2-bedroom inside mile 2. No, he moved to duplex. He moved straight up. He did not reach 1 year. And we all knew. So we felt, okay, maybe he's now earning more money. Then he launched car. So now, at that point in time, all of us can simply because CCB officers might not be in the local government. They might not be in that ward. They will not know he has moved. So they can't be everywhere. Honestly, they can't be. We need more policemen and LASMA. Even with police and LASMA manning the road, Nigerians will still go and do overtaking, blocking everything. Because we can't have them everywhere.
Because if we have them everywhere, it will increase our cost of governance. And we'll complain and say, how many staff must you have?
We can't.
So if it's part of it, we don't have the manpower.
It's not lack of manpower. No. It is failure of consequence of the ones you already have.
That's on ground.
That's on ground. I know that Tope, they rope, Tope jump it and pass. They put another one, this is jump it and pass. I will fly it and pass.
Exactly.
That's the simple thing. So I will not even jump so that maybe the rope will catch. I will don't go grow wings. Fly up, jump and pass.
So a few weeks ago, we were talking about how some people were brought in from Ghana. And while we were doing that interview, somebody mentioned that we reached out to the minister, reached out to this person, they said they don't have funds. And they reached out to another person. And the person said, we don't have funds, but I'll find the money. And she went out of the portfolio, which is, I have money for NIDCOM, to go and find a bank that will support bringing Nigerians back from Ghana. There are Nigerians that go above and beyond, and there are some that will say, we don't have budget, we don't have funds. The CCB, if we want to encourage what Nima is saying, is encourage your workers that are going above and beyond. Let's start celebrating them, because some people are working and some are just collecting salary and marking register. When you encourage those that are working, it will make it become a culture within your organization for people to face their work.
Let me take Nathaniel. I've been holding for a while. Good morning, Nathaniel. Hello, good morning. Oh, Ojakomi, I'm sorry. Ojakomi, thanks for calling. You're live.
Okay. Yeah. The point is that the contribution I want to make is that concerning this issue of this. Good morning.
Go ahead. You're listening to your TV. Talk to me directly. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so my point is that concerning this, the CCB chairman, he should be ashamed of himself for uttering that kind of statement.
Why?
He should be he should be ashamed of himself. He be shifting his own responsibility to the common Nigerians on the street who are looking for something to eat. He should be very much ashamed of himself. I'm totally in support of Alaja Lima and Akasha. We should stop telling ourselves lies in this country if we want this country to move forward. The common man on the street, do I have all those information that he has? We should, when you are talking about Nigeria, is that the way we can help ourselves?
Okay, let me correct you very quickly. Thank you, Mr. Ojakomi. So thanks for your view. So he was saying that he wants us to look at public servants who we suspect. And Nima has a point also that how am I supposed to know what you had before
when I don't know what you're earning?
So they're both two sides of this conversation.
Those that have it, some people have that information. We might not have it. Yes. It doesn't expect the entire Nigerians to have it. Yes. But some have. Some know. Some observe. They've seen how Ghana Must Go of money is entering into the office.
Yes.
They've seen it, but they don't know that they can actually report it to CCB. They don't. So they are allowed to now follow that process. No, they're not asking all of us to now become investigators of voluntary investigators.
Last week we were talking about this matter. We talked about one public officer that had plenty cars without a factory, and he was a public officer, the amount of the car, if we count it, and what they are declaring on the floor of the house, did not add up. Even if the annual money, the math just didn't do 2 plus 2, it was 2 plus 10. And we have that information is in public
domain. What has been done about it?
Okay, now if CCB were to even invite him, imagine CCB telling us we invited him. We found out that you think he doesn't have a factory, but there's a factory somewhere. He's in the manufacturing and exports business. He's into this and this. Unlike what he's telling us that he invested in the US. Because nobody can go and verify the US. It's CCB. And I don't want to just go and hate somebody and report them. But the CCB has the resources. They're an empowered body. That's my point, too. It's not like I don't believe in the partnership of citizens. Let
me come to BC.
And the institution. But
BC, let me.
We've all said and done. You have a call?
Yes,
okay, take your call.
Alhaji. Alhaji Suleiman, thanks for calling. You're live. Alhaji Suleiman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Am I speaking with your view?
Yes, you are. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Yes, Morayo, good morning. Thank you. I can hear you, Morayo.
Yeah, waiting to hear for the TV.
What I have to say here is that
you are listening to the TV. Talk to me directly, please.
All this story that I'm hearing you people talking about here on how to report corrupt officials. The question you ask yourselves there before you start making all these contributions is that those that have been caught. Those that have been caught stealing public funds, what punishment have been meted on them?
Good.
And they are looking for new ones. See, if this government, if they don't have anything to tell us on how to fight corruption, I think they should better go and see. They are all corrupt. They are all corrupt. The ones that have been caught stealing, are you saying that nobody, we all see them everywhere, and the man who is saying that they should report himself is also corrupt. So that's the other man who said he should be ashamed of himself, knows what he's talking about. Look, I'm an old man of over 70 years. And as long as corruption has become one tradition in Nigeria, sorry, we are just wasting our time in whatever we think we are doing to progress. Fight corruption first.
Okay.
When we were growing up as young men, there was nothing that anybody, in fact, if you overspend money, people will point at you and say, where is this man getting this money? Today, rogues, public officers that are thieves, are carried shoulders high. They are given cheap fancy titles.
Up and down.
They come and celebrate parties. And they look, all these are just noise making. What is the penalty for those who are caught? If I start mentioning them now, you say, no, that is not good on the air. We know them all. Somebody must tell us, look, if you report this person and we catch him, this is what is going to be his punishment.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Suleiman.
Amazing. He has just summed it up. So after all said and done, what we need are just systems that holds everybody accountable. So the system is put in such a way that if you are caught as a public official, for those that we already know that have one case or the other with either is the SCCB, is the EFCC and all of that, they are caught. We allow the law to take its course. We follow through. We see how it ends. That one, naturally, you don't need to remind any person to report if they are suspecting something is amiss. We've had, like you rightly mentioned, we've had where we've seen ministers, conducting their children's wedding and they're sharing iPhones as souvenir. We know how much it is to buy an iPhone, and then you have thousands of iPhones being shared as souvenir. From which pockets? Whose money? Which funds? Where did you get that from, right? And we see that, and nobody is going to hold anybody. We are waiting for public citizens or private citizens to go and report that, didn't you see this or didn't you see that? We need to be sure that the government is ready to take it further. And it will start by cleaning out itself. It will start by punishing those who we feel that have the power already. When we see those examples, many things will begin to align. So don't put the responsibility on the citizens. And I like the idea that we can report, but we need to have something to report against.
Okay, let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on this with some comments on social media and a few more calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Place to work. you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show here for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym though, you're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah, today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
And don't been able to satisfy us.
Thanks for staying with us. Okay, so let's take a few comments.
Okay, Ade Baptist says the only place we can prosecute corrupt Nigerians successfully is in the UK and elsewhere. As he did now, then YK says, he says, Nima, I feel you themselves no get eye. What in them they take their eye do?
YK should be sleeping this morning.
Honestly,
Titilayo Alabi says, a successful nation is a collective responsibility. Hafsa says, security is everybody's business. I will leave finding my daily bread to go and be finding and reporting civil servant that is on top of their nose while they choose to look away. Olori Dudulewa says, how do you intend to judge civil servants or public servants living above their income? They all have other hustles that bring in money, and sometimes the little you have, you could judiciously use it. Sakura said, nobody should send us message.
Okay, I have this mind. It says the message from CCB chairman is simply, if you see something, say something. It is similar to helping the security agencies in securing us from bad guys and protecting our country at large. Governance is not a job for a few people or appointed people. It is everyone's business. It's a responsibility that we all owe this country as citizens. Would anyone who witnessed a crime scene keep quiet and expect the police who are not present to detect that crime was committed? There is a reason government establishments have suggestion boxes for vital information. It's a wake-up call to everyone to take anti-corruption fight personally.
We agree.
And that is where I like to wrap up. Okay,
let me add some serious ones. Oladidi said, as a public servant, if you receive gifts, you must declare the gift to the taxman and the source of the gift. You may even have to pay tax on the gift. And Titilayo Alabi says, the people of Kogi State outrightly told the EFCC that Yaya Bello didn't steal their money. Nigerians, on one hand, want consequences for corrupt politicians, just not for their favorite politicians.
Simple. So for me, that's where it goes to people responsibility. It's always saying, we like to always point the finger, and the four is pointing right back at us. What are we as citizens doing to participate in this fight against corruption. And that's where I like to end this conversation. Yes, we understand that they have the resources, they have the experience and capacity to look for and fish out these public servants who are stealing our money. But at the same time, we also as a people have a responsibility somewhat to at least be able to identify, because if government is saying, come and help me, I'm saying, mind your business, it's not your work, then do we want a nation or not? Because when we go to different country and they act the same of us, we do it as responsible citizens. We are now American citizens. I saw this person, you know, but in our own nation, because in our own mind, we're a banana island, we're a banana republic, we're a confused nation. So we just feel like, no, it doesn't work here, and we totally discard what the government is asking. So I'm saying that let's look at it with a different set of lens and say, let us be ready to participate in building our nation. If the government is asking for help, let us be willing to help us. We're going to go in a very short break. When we come back, there's another topic. Actually, I don't think we need a break. Let's go into our next topic very quickly. So we have the reports that the House of Representatives passed a bill through its second reading proposing 6 months imprisonment or 100,000 naira fine for citizens who refuse to vote in the general elections. The private members' bill, sponsored by Speaker Abbas Tajuddin and Honorable Daniel Ago, seeks to amend the Electoral Act of 2002. According to the section of the bill, a person who has attained the majority age of 18 years and refuses to perform their civic duty to vote commits an offense and is liable to conviction, the fine not exceeding 100,000 naira, or imprisonment for not exceeding 6 months. What are your thoughts on this? Is this necessary? Joining us from our Abuja studios is Executive Director, Peering, Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa, Mr. Ezenwa Nwago. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us. Before I come to you, I'd like to hear the ladies' thoughts on this. Do you think it's important for our nation to commit a fine Nigerians if they refuse to vote, especially in the coming elections?
As a voter, I feel that compelling anything with a punishment usually doesn't get what you want. I believe that it's more of an advocacy that we need more than that punishable offense, making it a punishable offense. I think people should understand that it's a responsibility for you to contribute to who your leaders are by involving themselves in voting. But when you say it is compulsory and you put a punishment to it, I will do it as an assignment, I'll do it as a chore, but I'm not doing it because I understand the responsibility being placed upon me. That being said, over the last few elections that we've had as a country, our presidency, every leader has been decided by the minority, very, very minor minority. So I feel the need where there's an agitation for more involvement so that we can have a more robust inclusion of people. Yet punishing people for not voting is not the way, personally.
Okay, I think that there's nothing wrong as a nation in standing on what you believe would help move your nation forward, right? I know many countries where it is very compulsory for you to vote. I don't know if there's a punishment attached to it, but they made it in such a way that the citizens, whether by their choice or by the government choosing for them, understand the importance of coming out to vote. The past few elections, we had very minimal votes compared to all the noise that was made during the election. You would expect that when you get to the polls, you will see the numbers in droves. So we are beginning to see that we are people who would sit on the sidelines and complain. And when it's time to now put our mouth or put our money where our mouth is, it becomes a problem. So if a government says that in this our nation, we want to make it compulsory that everybody votes. If you do not vote, for one, I don't like the jail term that's given. You will pay a fine of so and so amount of money. Then you choose whether you are going to vote or not. Because we need to get to a point where we all can be collective in how we choose our leaders. But I also like that they add technology, because the world is changing. We want our young people to be a part of these elections. We want our young people to be a part of governance. We cannot keep doing things the way it's done in 19 Mbochie and expect to have these Gen Zs join in that. Many people will not want to send their children out because of what happens at the polls.
Yeah.
Even adults that go out, that the day when I voted for this past election, my mouth was in my hat, or my hat was in my mouth, because we're afraid of anything that was going to happen. People were coming to collect ballot boxes, you know, gunshots were, you know, those are some of the things that make people say, whoa, I want to stay in my house, I'm not interested, whoever you elect, right? But if we make it in such a way that we pay attention to every strata of the country, the people who can come out physically, the people who can sit on their bed and vote on their phones, you see that many more people will participate without any fear of, you know, reprisal attacks, any fear of being injured, any fear of being killed, because we still have a situation of very violent elections in some of our countries.
I hear you, because I'll come to you in a moment, because the numbers from last elections, 93 million actually registered. So there's a lot of sensitization compared to the previous elections. There was many advocacy coming out. I mean, I remember that time was back to back. So people came out to register.
Yeah.
But only about a quarter came out to vote. So it's not so much about the advocacy. It's more about people's decision. And that's where the factors of violence, security comes in.
Yeah.
But in that, I know a lot of people are advocating for electronic voting, which I think is a good idea. But the truth is that in a nation, this is Nigeria we're talking about. Our people.
We can do this thing.
In a civilized society where everybody, the people, I'm trying to choose my words carefully, because I don't want to castigate Nigeria as not forward thinking. But the truth of where we are as a country is that where our people are still getting a hang of technology. So sometimes it might sound good for the middle class, average, the above middle class people to say, oh, let us do electronic. But some people that don't understand it, that will be disadvantaged. So I'm just saying that there are different factors that makes it difficult to implement that. But however, you're right, we need to find new solutions.
Yeah.
But let me come to you before I go to our guest in Abuja.
Okay, so this is a welcome, how would I call
development.
This is a welcome general rule. I would like to read the exceptions.
Okay.
The exceptions being that I would like to see if this bill has addressed the causes of why people would not come out to vote. Check records. Since I started voting when I turned 18, I have not missed an election. But every time, the people who are most interested in governance are the older ones. They were the ones who knew how to stand when it wasn't risky, put up with it, and now still keep putting up with it. A lot of young people, when they run the first one,
they don't go.
In fact, there was one slap that my husband witnessed at his polling unit. Jesus. Every time he describes that slap, he said, oh, that guy don't feel see again. I'm sure he can't see again. Every time he describes that slap and the number of bottles that were flying, he didn't go back for the gubernatorial elections.
Imagine.
After voting for that presidential election, just by witnessing slap. So we have not addressed, there's a general rule, there's a general apathy that comes from laziness and disinterest from the general generation of people now, Gen Zs, like we like to call them.
But they came out to...
But they come out in certain areas.
Yeah, okay.
It's still the Gen Zs who broke bottles in certain other areas who have been trained by politicians. Until we address most of these fears. And when election polling units do not... I personally do not like my polling units. It is too tribalistic. Every election, the only reason somebody will pushed me at the election at my polling unit was because I was not looking like their tribe, and it was the conversation. Look at them. You know, it was too much of an aggressive place. So when we are done with the voters' education, to change mindset and a lot of things, where I can go and vote and even take my child to witness how it is done.
Process. It
is not a safe place. We have not addressed most of the issues.
Short break. When we come back, we're bringing our guest to hear his thoughts. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Breaking news.
Stay tuned. Entertainment for pure entertainment. Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
Staying with us, we still have the Executive Director, Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa, Mr. Ezenwa Iwago. Sir, I'd like you to join the conversation. What are your thoughts on this new possible law that might be enacted very soon?
Well, I think we are responding to the frustration of what we are low voter turnout. And the frustration is deepening because of the statistics that you even talked about. In recent elections, we have just merely 26-28% of voters turning out to vote. But when you then compare that with the number of registered voters, you ask the question, why do people go to register when they probably will not be voting? The first probable reason will be that the voter's card in Nigeria is also a means of identification.
Wow.
And other means of identification, you have to pay. Whether you are looking for the international passport, you're looking for the driver's license, you're looking for the NIN, the citizens are going to pay, but the voter's card is free. So for many people, it's just one way of having a means of identification. The second reason is also what I call community collusion. Okay. Communities are told that their voting strength has something to do with the amenities that will come to their community. So during voter registration, communities, compromise voting officials, the security agents, and up their voting strength through all kinds of means. Okay. And then, in spite of all the cleaning that is done by INEC, you still find out that that collusion, they are not able to completely eliminate it. So you have a register that, in all honesty, needs to be worked upon. So your 93 million voting strength may not be correct. And if you notice, we also don't do anything about people who have passed. Between the time of that voter registration and today, many people will have passed. And so you have that huge challenge. But that's on one part. So the big challenge, like I said, the frustration is citizens not voting. Should it be punished by law? Should we respond to it through advocacy? Is voting a duty or a right? One of my colleagues there talked about countries where they are into mandatory voting or compulsory voting. About 21 countries since January 2023 are into compulsory voting. And there are different kinds of taxes. But the challenge with Nigeria is that when we take things from outside, we subvert the real intent of those things. It will become a means here of punishing the poor, who may, out of the fact that government no longer exists for the majority of the citizens. As you know, many people provide their water, many people provide their electricity. Ballot boxes get to the remotest part of the villages, but development don't get to those places.
Sure.
So we cannot punish our citizens for failure on our own part to even make government responsible enough to become something that they can look forward to and participate in. But for me also is to say that not voting is a form of voting. Okay. For the citizens who think that they are not going to participate, by your not participating, you have voted for what you don't want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we cannot criminalize participation. We shouldn't criminalize non-participation by jail terms. What we should do is to increase advocacy, rework our country in a way that it makes meaning for the generality of our citizens. And I listen to many people. Gen Zs don't only exist in urban centers. There are also Gen Zs in our backwater communities who are participating in voting and lining up. The challenge is elite indolence, elite non-interestedness, and the cure for it may not necessarily be
punishment,
jail terms and taxes. But what we need to do is to increase advocacy, bring more people to understand that the cost of bread, that the cost of electricity, the cost of medicines in the hospital is contained in that permanent voter's card that they carry about in their wallets.
But my concerns are, because as Nigeria, we're very vocal when it comes to expressing our views on governance, policies, and all that. If we're going to be speaking so much on social media, don't you think that we have to have stringent measures to ensure that those people who are expressing themselves also must ensure that they participate in these elections? Because the truth is that it's one thing to have a voice, but it's another thing to actually use the power we have. So yes, there's advocacy, but this law might be able to force the hands of Nigerians to understand that rebuilding the nation is not about the leaders. It's about us, the people, getting the people we in. Because we've seen in some states in the last elections, some shocking results came out where people from other smaller parties won in certain either local governments or House of Reps, and they're wondering, how did that happen? Because those people in that committee decided to vote. They didn't vote the ruling party of that state. So we can see that on a national level if Nigerians actually come out to vote. So don't you think this would somewhat be a good thing to force the hands of Nigerians to actually come out and vote?
Well, I'm tempted to agree with you, but I also just avert my mind to the packets of cigarettes that you see where they say voters are liable to die young. Okay. I don't know how much that has helped to reduce smoking. I think what will reduce smoking will be to show people the real consequences of smoking. So the big challenge for me always is that we always think that the law is the silver bullet to solving every problem. We need to be a bit more intentional in how we educate, how our civic education processes are undertaken. What more responsibilities, what more resources can we give to our media, to the National Orientation Agency, to INEC itself, to be able to engage in proper civic education? In Ghana, they employ civic educations year-round, who go to people, knock their doors, talk to them, educate them. Those are some of the things we can do. Our response to every challenge is law. Throw a law to it, but then we need to interrogate the laws that we have. How much has it been able to deal with the challenges that confront us in other areas? So I think that for a civic, right, that we now want to convert into a duty, what needs to happen will be more education, more civic education, more advocacy rather than punitive intervention.
Okay, sir, I am agreeing with you because that was not how I felt before you started speaking, but I could see from what you have said, the reason why it's important that government takes a step back instead of putting this sort of law to do more advocacy. But do you think that the government is actually paying attention to some of the reasons why many people are not voting? Do you think they are making plans to sort of solve that issue instead of just going ahead to make this law? Do you think that is in the works?
My sister, just go and look at the budget of NOA. If our government is serious in civic mobilization and education, you will see the kind of money they will put there. The budget of NOA is miserly, really miserly. Look at for TVC, for instance, how much comes from government institutions to mobilize citizens about even what they are doing. Sometimes government does so much, but they don't invest in even letting the citizens know what they are doing. That's the first part. The other thing will be how much responsibility are our governments. And many times we just talk about the federal government. 52% of the resources of the country come to the federal, 48 go to the states, and then this 52 of the federal is shared among the 36 states and the FCT. The 48%, the states use them. If the states were responsible in ensuring that government makes meaning for the generality of citizens who live in their states, most of the agitations that we see, most of the laid-backness that we see, but not voting is not just a big challenge. There is also a lead disinterestedness. I will tell you, Etiosa local government, there was Etiosa federal constituency in Lagos, had a by-election, and that is where you have your Lekki, your Ikoyi, your Victoria Island, and the rest of them. With all the noise that is made on social media, just less than 12% of the people who registered in that place came out to vote in that election. Let me pause. Go back to Kebbi, where the same kind of election held. 60% of the citizens in that place came out. So we need to do much more, and I would rather insist that there is more advocacy, more resources is put to educating citizens, making them aware of their rights and their responsibilities. Let me pause you rather than the kind of interventions that we want to have.
I have activist lawyer Kabir Akingbolu on the phone. Good morning, sir. Thanks for calling. You're live.
It's a pleasure for having me on the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, sir. Good morning.
When you look at the whole thing, the way it is, I want to think that yes, if government is doing, we need civic orientation and education. Voters education is very important because people don't know. Again, we need to conduct a credible election because the idea of the people not coming out, this burnout of the father, after all, they are not going to count the vote. But I am saying it's a wrong posture, it's a wrong behavior by the people. Like a situation whereby Nigeria, for instance, we say we're about 400 million people in population, but less than 20 million people voted. Atiku got 6 million plus, Obi got 6 million plus, our president got 8 million plus. If you add everything together, about 20 million people, 20 million voters, it means just 20 million people are deciding the fate of Nigeria. People are not coming out. And don't be surprised. Let me cite this example. When you see some programs that are not even very educative, people vote with money as much as 30 naira per vote. They vote as many times as possible, and you have about 3 billion votes in some of these cable programs that we watch around. But this is your civic duty. You are not performing it. We should not be able to. We will not be able to complain if you are not participating in the electoral process. Let's not participate and vote. It is our responsibility. However, the government has agency like National Orientation Agency. It's not enough to vote money straight. I had the last speaker saying paucity of funds. Even the fund is much. If you are not supervising the way the fund is utilized to ensure that people are educated about the advantages of voting or taking part in the electionary process, it will be in vain. So I think government should do it. But as to a law, forcing people to vote, I don't think it will be possible because enforcement would be impossible.
Exactly.
In the sense that a country where people are hungry, you want to now make laws to force them to come and vote.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Go ahead, okay.
Okay, so thank you so much. We've had, I feel like this law, if it passed, will build resentment against the government as opposed to getting them to actually see the positivity or the advantage of getting involved in the election. But that being said, I'm happy you highlighted the lack of budget for NOA because it was a conversation, I was having a conversation with somebody about tax and advocacy for tax, and they say, go and meet NOA. I say, NOA does not have, people don't analyze the budget, they don't have the money. But who do you think will be the most important segment for us to target? Because I'm looking at our universities. Many of the people in our universities are at that place where we can catch them. Do you think that we might be putting the attention on the wrong set of people? Maybe we should be engaging professors and not NOA or even talking about any of the agencies. Like, let our professors start educating our students in the university, our young Nigerian citizens, to start seeing the power of the importance of voting and getting them involved. And the statistics even favor that we have more students. Our median age is very young.
What that was for you?
Are you talking with me?
Yeah.
Sir, it was you, sir. The question
okay,
was
so
you,
the first challenge will be to look at even student union elections in the universities that you talk about. You know, the universities, if you go there, they say, 31 million, 30,000 militants last wise, 40,000, 60,000 militants, OAU, UNILA. At the end of the day, the number that elects the student union governments in those universities is even worse than what we are talking about at the national level. So it's about our attitude to governance. It has to do with how we take responsibility, how we want to see things. Even in estates where we live, in many places, in urban cities where people live in estates, they live in those estates, they don't participate in the election of their own estates. You know, so it's an attitude, and what can cure that is advocacy. What can cure that is consistent, civic education. So it's not, the voting challenge is not just at voting leaders at the political level. It's our attitude generally to leadership and how we perceive leadership. And then people sit down and say, the elections, no, they do not count, and all of that. The incredible progress, though incremental, that has taken place in our electoral process is something that only people who are invested in it can observe and follow. In 2003, 2007, you could be voting, and the results of where you are voting will be announced, and you'll be hearing it. You are still voting and the results have been announced. We've moved from that to the point where we have even minimized voter identification theft through the permanent voters card and the beavers. The challenges that we face in our electoral process are a work in progress. And that is what it is. That's why it is called process. It is not an end. So people who are not invested will sit down in their homes and say, the elections don't count. Today, you have a multi-party National Assembly. You have even though they are going back to their, to their homes, as we call it, through defection and all that. But at least in 2023, you had Labour Party, you had Social Democratic Party, you had PDP, you have APC in the National Assembly in good numbers. And there is nothing that shows you about the unpredictability of the process than that kind of effort that we are seeing. So we can be as disillusioned as we want to be, but the big challenge is that we are not putting a lot into civic education, into even getting citizens to know what progress has been made, and so that they can identify with that progress. And then if there are challenges, we communicate it in an open manner, in sincerity, in a way that people can understand that those challenges are not subterfuge. They are things that we can see on the earth, because we are not yet in heaven. So for me, therefore, is that It is a challenge of education, education.
Let me get one final question for the break. I'm going to finish up.
Allow me to be unserious here. This last election, what I noticed brought people out and kept them in their polling units with their cards is Faji. As in, there was
party. Sorry,
there was partying at polling units. In my estate, for instance, all the landlords you ordinarily not see at CDA meetings were at the polling unit at the gate. They were there for 12 hours with bottles, partying. Is it possible that we do things out of the box, find ways to keep our people interested in polling units at with different ways, apart from this over seriousness things and criminality?
No, I said people came out because they had a way to make themselves enjoy.
Some people provided canopies, some people
there was
provided
food,
chairs,
they were drinking, and they came out to vote. Can we make it more interesting?
Unfortunately, we can't respond to that. I have to let you go. But thank you very much, Mr. Ezenwa, for joining us this morning. We've run out of time. But thank you very much. As a wrap-up, I really think, as much as I hear advocacy, which is important, but I think the best solution to this problem really is technology, which is what BC said earlier. Technology is the only way to ensure more people participate, because if not, without that, we're just going to be going around in circles. But thank you so much, sir, for joining us. That is all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Center is an electoral.